Pick a question. Stella Monye, what are your views on politics in Nigeria?
I believe Nigeria is a great place, a great nation. And anytime I go out of the country and I see other countries, I just say, oh, Nigeria is so sweet. I love this country. I love Nigeria. I don't think I can love anywhere like Nigeria. The only problem we're having is this internal issue of the cabals and the owners of Nigeria.
Who are the owners of Nigeria?
Well,
what do you mean,
you all know them. You all know who they are. You know,
it's you and me.
No, you all know who they are. You know the few popular names of those who own Nigeria, because there are people who own Nigeria, who just sit down and decide what happens in Nigeria.
Really?
Yes.
What do you find most disappointing about Nigeria as a Nigerian?
What I find so disappointing is that we have money. I mean, they tell us when we travel that, oh, are you a Nigerian? Oh, that's place where a lot of money from Africa, you know. They even inflate things that we want to buy for that sake, you know. But to think that, I think that the resources that we've come up with in this short time of our independence will have been enough for us to put some things in place. Some things that we'll look back and say, okay, the other countries are working, you know, they have everything, but we too, we're working to some extent. They can do it. We have the money. Nigerians can do it. One person has the money that can liberate Nigeria. You know, so what is the problem? Why is everybody siphoning money? They're not going anywhere with it. When you die alone and you take nothing with you. And to think that you could better Nigeria with this money, you could still take some to take care of yourself. Don't, you know, the way they siphon in Nigeria, you know, they call us animals, you know, because they believe that the way we siphon as if
there's no tomorrow. For
generations to come. What for? Some of the monies now are lost. Some are lost inside water tank. Some are lost in foreign accounts. Some are lost where they buried it because the owners have died. Yeah. You know, it's just paper.
Yeah, but can I ask you a question, Stella? Have you registered ever? Have you voted before in this country?
Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, I've worked with some political bodies before. I've had the opportunity to say, oh, okay, this body, let's try them. They may come up with something nice, you know, and I put all my energy, you know, I follow them around, I do things for them, I do jingle, I take my musical equipment and go with them everywhere, you know. But at the end of the day, the truth is that you get to that point where you're disappointed at everybody, and then you sit back and say, oh, okay, let's see where it goes. Let's see how it goes. That's the point we are now.
What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to a better Nigeria because we have no other country we can call our own. I don't intend to pack my bag and go and stay in anywhere else in the world. I'm a Nigerianized Nigerian, and I want it to be good so that I'll be able to look back and say, okay, I'm only traveling on holidays. I don't want to run away and go and be doing, I call it second coming of slavery in another man's land, you know, because you're going to wash somebody else's napkin and wash people's dead body and wash things that you normally won't wash in your country. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
You know something I've never asked you, Stella, how you actually got into music. I just know that we all embraced you when you came on the scene. Okay. The effect was so much that nobody even wanted to talk about where you started from. Or who inspired you and all of that.
You know,
say it now.
You know what happens in life? Sometimes it's a chance. Somebody will say, oh, we all went for audition. I was just messing around. When we got there, they just chose me and I became a broadcaster. You know, so things happened with chance and time and where. It started from school. You know, I just know I was interested in theater and all of that, and I used to do a lot of the singing. And then somebody taps me and say, "Oh girl, you know you have this vocal ability." I said, "Oh really?" I didn't recognize it from beginning, you know. And there's a way along the line, Okomiye, which was dedicated to my mother, you know, because my mother is one of those African women.
Really? Why would you dedicate Okomi? Okomi means husband.
Yes.
Why would you dedicate it to
I
your
dedicated
mother?
it to her.
Okay, the
you know,
song
because
itself.
yes, because she was going through some things at the time, you know. She was one of those African women who really want to stay married, no matter what. My father was the Casanova type, you know, but my mother was there. She glued herself.
Thank you for that.
She stayed put. What we in our generation cannot take. She stayed there. My father married another wife. They will come and they will leave her there because she will stay in her right position and she will be cool and she won't make any trouble. She will give them food when they come. She will serve them. My father will gallivant and come back to her, and she will say, "I'm staying with my kids. I don't want my kids to suffer," you know. So at a point, I couldn't help it. I said, I need to write this woman a song. I didn't know the song was going to become a monumental hit. Too. I just said, oh, let me just dedicate this nice, simple song to my mother, you know. So I started messing around with some keyboardists. I said, I want to put one song together. I put the lyrical content together, and then I put a melody behind it. I'm like, I'm writing the song. Where did it come from? How did it come? You know, because though I was, we were attending one Methodist church, I was a member of the choir, but it was just that small. So it wasn't about anything else, you know. But somewhere along the line, like I said, somebody else again tapped me and said, "This song, don't waste it. Let's take it to EMI." I said, "Who is EMI?" He said, "It's a recording company in Oregon." I said, "You think they will take it?" Okay. We took it there. And then I forgot the CD, cassette. It was cassette. I said, I beg, that's their business.
How much money did you make from that album?
It's very funny. They sold so much. One of the engineers is here. He's the owner of the studio now. They sold so much, but I never made a kobo from that album.
But you didn't want?
No, the day I went there and said, okay, can we look at the book so I can be paid? They said they can't find the book.
You're allowed to take only 5 items you consider very important to you. What would they be?
My microphone, because I'll be imagining that I'll be doing things on the island. I'll take water, even though there may be water surrounding the island. I can't guarantee that I will drink that water until I've exhausted this one. I won't drink that. Then I'll take some money that can help me to get a boatman to get me out of the place. I'll take some clothing. I'll take some blankets, you know, so that I can wrap myself if it becomes too windy. That's for. What would the last one be? Of course, my glasses and my phone, so I can, if I'm going to get signal, so I can chat or.
On a musical note, Stella, what would you say to people who love you?
That I'm coming back soon to the scene, and that it's just going to be better. It can never be less.
Has your album got a title yet?
Yes.
What is it called?
Iyanu.
Iyanu. Does it have a meaning in
Miracle.
Well, let's wait for the miracle. Thank you, Stella. It's been nice talking to you. Nice seeing
Manny, the gentleman Manny.
Right.
You're still gentle.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been Stella Monye on The Chat. I am Manny. Take care of yourselves. The Chat is produced by Channels Television. You can watch it again online. Just visit our social media platforms: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.